So we have a quote from you from a blog. We'll have a link to that in the show notes where you point to over 1,000 generative AI applications already built or in development at Amazon. So from those, do you have some kinds of takeaways for our listeners from those, from 1,000 plus internal deployments of Gen AI, where agents can actually deliver value and where they still struggle?
Yes. So it's really exciting, being part of Amazon also. We're working and collaborating with a lot of the internal teams here and seeing the different use cases coming together. And one of the very exciting ones is from Amazon Leo. You might know Leo. Previously, they were known as Project Kuiper. They're working on those low orbit satellite networks to bring connectivity into the underserved regions. So very exciting work that they're doing. And they've been looking at Nova Act as well, how they can integrate it. And they built some amazing automations that help them, do testing QA frameworks across different, from the web to Android, iOS apps as well. And then also build additional tooling on top of that, where, for example, they can now, product managers in the team can use Nova Act to, from a Figma design, from a wireframe design, create test cases even before those get implemented. So there's a lot of exciting work that's happening. And yeah, I'm also curious, out there, like a lot of you, like startups, developers, data scientists that are listening, like how you think UI automation can come together and which processes you can automate. But yeah, certainly I think, so much opportunity space, and we're really just at the very beginning of what's possible.
For sure. Are there some kinds of general things you've seen that work or don't work? Maybe the UI example is a really good place to go because it seems like Nova Act specifically is designed for browser based tasks.
We started with a browser because it's the easiest way to give us kind of the closest to this universal action space. If you look at how we humans work, right? A lot of our work is actually happening in the browser where we working across different applications. We have the different tabs open. So this gives us a very great first point to get to this universal space, but we're also looking beyond the browser, right? So again, we have great research teams here. I really enjoy talking to a lot of our cognitive scientists who are also looking into this problem space. And one of the main use cases really is, to your point, is the QA testing, right? We see a lot of things happening there for a couple of various reasons, I think, but really kind of it helps you really quickly to automate some of those, as you develop new applications, you're pushing out an update, and you want to make sure that the experience delivers. For example, one of our customers, PGA Tour, they're using Nova Act to make sure the website correctly works, especially before any golf tournaments where there's a lot of excitement and people coming to the website. So they're making sure that, for example, the weather information widget, everything works, all the buttons, everything in there. So a lot of this QA testing on websites, but also for example, another one, Hertz uses Nova Act. They're doing testing, automated testing for a lot of their core rental workflows, which help them to just, increase the shipping velocity 5x. So it's really kind of, and sometimes internally, we use this playful term that we're calling those norm core agents, which really automates some of the more boring stuff, right? Like it might not be those flashy, cool things that we sometimes come up with at hackathons or stuff. And really kind of what are kind of the core workflows that seem a little bit more boring, seem a little bit more tedious, but you can actually automate pretty well. And we see a lot of interest as a first use case in this automated QA testing, but we can imagine a ton of more use cases out there.